Okay, I'm ready.
Let's call this meeting to order. Can we please rise and pledge allegiance to the flag, please? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Post,
Here.
White,
Here.
Underhill,
Here.
Michaelak,
Here.
Zambito.
Here.
Someone move to approve the minutes of the February 17th public hearing on the Community Development Block Grant for Park Road Water Project and the February 17th, 2021 regular town board meeting minutes.
So moved. Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Underhill,
Yes.
Zambito,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Michaelak,
Yes.
Post.
Yes. Is there any here that wishes to speak to the board this evening or address the board? If not, we'll move to resolutions. Sharon, resolution number 62.
Code Enforcement Officer, 7th amended agreement between the Town of Batavia and the Village of Alexander. Whereas the Town of Batavia and the Village of Alexander wish to enter into a Code Enforcement Officer agreement, and whereas the agreement addresses the need for the Village of Alexander to have its codes enforced by the Town of Batavia code officials. Now therefore be it resolved pursuant to Article 5G of the General Municipal Law, the Batavia Town Board wishes to enter into a Code Enforcement Officer 7th amended agreement between the Town of Batavia and the Village of Alexander for code enforcement services, a copy of which is annexed hereto and made a part of the minutes. And be it further resolved, the Batavia Town Board hereby authorizes the supervisor to execute the aforementioned agreement. So moved.
Second.
I'll be happy to execute that agreement. Discussion.
White, oh, sorry.
Roll call, please.
White,
Yes.
Michaelak,
Yes.
Zambito,
Yes.
Underhill,
Yes.
Post.
Yes. Resolution number 63. Dan?
Training workshop. Resolve the Batavia Town Board hereby authorizes the following personnel to attend training workshop. Kathy Lazinski, Farmland Protection and Practice, Clarence Green Print webinar was February 22nd, 2021. There was no cost for this webinar. Kathy Lazinski, Everything You Ever Wanted to Know About Preparing a Comprehensive Plan webinar was March 3rd, 2021. There was no cost for this webinar. Kathy Lazinski, Wind and Solar Leasing on Ag Lands, March 29th, 2021. There is no cost for this webinar. Kathy Lazinski, GENESEE Finger Lakes Regional Planning Council Local Government Spring Workshop, various dates, April 8th through May 25th, 2021. There is no cost for these webinars. Sarasota, New York State Town Clerks Association 2021 Virtual Conference, April 26th to April 28th, 2021. There is the cost for this future conference is $125. Jamie Woff, 9-Mile Preventive Maintenance for Large Trucks webinar was March 9th, 2021, and there's no cost for this webinar. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Underhill,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Michaelak,
Yes.
Zambito,
Yes.
Post.
Yes. Resolution number 64, acknowledging that the required audit of the court records and dockets was conducted, whereas Section 2019-A of the Uniform Justice Court Act requires the town justices annually to provide their court records and dockets to their respective town auditing board, and that such records be audited and that fact be entered into the minutes of the board's proceedings. And whereas an audit was conducted of the town justice records and dockets by Freed, Maxick, and Battaglia, P.C., now therefore be it resolved, the Batavia Town Board hereby acknowledges that the required audit of the court records and dockets was conducted and hereby directs the supervisor to forward a copy of the auditor's report along with a copy of this resolution to Joan Casaza, Internal Control Liaison, New York State Office of Court Administration, 2500 Pondview Suite, LL01, Castleton on the Hudson, New York, 12033. So move.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Post,
Yes.
Underhill,
Yes.
Michaelak,
Yes.
Zambito,
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Patty, resolution number 65.
Resolution to establish position Clerk of the Works. Resolved, Batavia Town Board hereby establishes a second Clerk of the Works position, MSD 222, duty statement attached. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Michaelak,
Yes.
Zambito,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Underhill,
Yes.
Post.
Yes. Resolution 66. Chad?
Resolution appointing Code Enforcement Officer 1, whereas Bruce Sherrill, Town of Batavia Building Inspector, has announced his retirement as of April 9th, 2021, and whereas the town desires to hire a permanent full-time Code Enforcement Officer 1 to replace Mr. Gerald in the Building Department, and whereas 3 applications were accepted and reviewed for this position, and whereas Troy Williams satisfies the requirements and qualifications of the position of Code Enforcement Officer 1, and whereas the Building Inspector recommends hiring Mr. Williams, now therefore be it resolved, the Batavia Town Board hereby authorizes the hiring and appointing of Troy Williams as full-time Provisional Code Enforcement Officer 1 for the Building Department at a rate of $25.81 per hour as of March 31st, 2021. Be it further resolved, as per the Town of Batavia policy, Mr. Williams is subject to a physical, background, and driver's license check and drug and alcohol testing. And be it further resolved, the expenditure will be provided from line item A 3620.103. And it will further resolve, there is a 6-month probationary period for this appointment, at which time an evaluation of performance will be assessed for an increase in pay or dismissal of duties. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Zambito,
Yes.
Michaelak,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Underhill,
Yes.
Post.
Yes. Welcome aboard, Troy.
I was gonna do an as written, but I figured since he's sitting right there,
Yeah, I
should
know,
probably
really.
read
No, we
it.
couldn't do that.
Thank you. Resolution 67. Karen?
Resolution appointing part-time clerk of the works on an as-needed basis. Whereas the town is engaged in various projects such as water, wastewater, storm drainage, and site development projects, and whereas a clerk of the works is needed to oversee these projects, and whereas 2 applications were received and reviewed, and whereas James Jacobs satisfies the requirements and qualifications of the position of clerk of the works, and whereas the town engineer recommends appointing Mr. Jacobs as part-time clerk of the works on an as-needed basis, and whereas it is anticipated that the appointment of James Jacobs to the position of part-time clerk of the works on an as-needed basis will most effectively ensure the provision of necessary services to the town and its residents. Now therefore be it resolved, the Batavia Town Board hereby authorizes the hiring and appointment of James Jacobs as a part-time clerk of the works for the engineering department at a rate of $30 per hour as of March 18th, 2021. And be it further resolved, as per the Town of Batavia policy, Mr. Jacobs is subject to a physical background and driver's license check and drug and alcohol testing. And be it further resolved, the expenditure will be appropriated from line item A 1440.102, SS 18120.102, SS 28120.102, and SW 8340.102. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
White,
Yes.
Underhill,
Yes.
Michaelak,
Yes.
Zambito,
Yes.
Post.
Yes. Resolution 68, Dan.
Resolution appointing part-time clerk of the works on an as-needed basis, whereas the town is engaged in various projects such as water, wastewater, storm drainage, and site development project, and whereas the clerk of the works is needed to oversee these projects, and whereas 2 applicants were received and reviewed, and whereas Paul Mayer satisfies the requirements and qualifications of the position of clerk of works, and whereas the town engineer recommends appoint Mr. Mayer as a part-time clerk of the works on an as-needed basis, and whereas it anticipated that appointment of Paul Meyer to position of part-time clerk of works, excuse me, on an as-needed basis will most effectively ensure the provisions of necessary services to the town, and whereas town and his residents, and now therefore be resolved, the Batavia Town Board hereby authorizes the hiring and appointment of Paul Meyer as a part-time clerk of the works for the engineering department at a rate of $30 per hour as of March 18th, 2021, and be it further resolved as a per the town of Batavia policy, Mr. Meyer, subject to physical background, driver's license check, and drug and alcohol testing, and be it further resolved, the expenditures will be appropriated from line item A 1440.102, SS 8120.102, SS 28120.120, and SW 8340.102. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Underhill?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Michaelak?
Yes.
Zambito?
Yes.
Post.
Yes. Resolution 69, Amendment Number 1, Proposal of Services between the Town of Batavia and Municipal Solutions Incorporated, New York State Local Government Citizens Reorganization Empowerment Grant, parentheses, Craig Grant, Consolidation of the Water Districts. Whereas the town entered into an agreement with Municipal Solutions Incorporated in December 2018 for the consolidation of all town water districts. And whereas said agreement expired December 2020, Municipal Solutions submitted its Amendment Number 1 dated January 14, 2021 to extend said agreement for an additional 12 months. Now therefore be it resolved, the Batavia Town Board hereby authorizes Municipal Solutions Incorporated Amendment Number 1, extension of services for the water consolidation project. And be it further resolved, the supervisor is hereby authorized to execute the proposal agreement between the Town of Batavia and Municipal Solutions Incorporated, a copy of which is hereby annexed hereto and made a part of the minutes. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Post.
Yes.
Zambito?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Underhill?
Yes.
Michaelak?
Yes.
Patty, resolution number 70.
Purchase ditching bucket for water and wastewater department. Whereas the 2021 town water wastewater budget reflects appropriations for a 4-foot wide ditching bucket that is needed for completing water and wastewater repairs and restoration. And whereas the town solicited an RFQ for the ditching bucket and 2 quotes were received, the low bidder was Admar Supply at a cost of $2,245. The town engineers reviewed and recommends a purchase from Admar Supply. Now therefore be it resolved, the Batavia Town Board hereby authorizes the purchase a new 4-foot wide ditching bucket from the Admar Supply at a cost of $2,245. And be it further resolved, the expenditure will be appropriated from line items SS1 8120.200, SS2 .8120.200, and SW 8340.200. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Michaelak?
Yes.
Underhill?
Yes.
Zambito?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Post.
Yes. Someone move to table resolution number 71, please.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. We're not quite there.
I was gonna say the reason.
We're not quite there.
Okay.
It'll be next month.
Okay.
Well, this is on easement on the property in the city of Batavia on Evans Street. That needs to be fully considered in the transfer, prior to the transfer.
Yeah.
And so there needs to be further consideration given to the new prospective owners as they move through this process and ensure that everyone has transparent and clear understanding of the impact of the relocation of the power pole at the end of the bridge of the Ellicott Trail on that parcel. So the relocation is about a 50-footer, but be better described to all participants in the future uses of that property prior to us adopting this easement.
Yeah.
Roll call, please.
Zambito?
Yes.
Underhill?
Yes.
Michaelak?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Post.
Yes. Resolution 72, Chad.
As needed motor equipment operator for highway department. Whereas the highway department needs assistance on an as needed basis in the highway department to plow snow and mow roadsides. And whereas the highway superintendent recommends rehiring Aaron Schwabel, now therefore be it resolved, the Batavia Town Board hereby authorizes the highway superintendent to rehire Aaron Schwabel as a motor equipment operator on an as-needed basis for up to 40 hours per week, beginning on or after March 18th, 2021, an hourly rate of $21 for the highway department. And be it further resolved, as per the town of Batavia policy, Mr. Schwabel is subject to a physical, background, driver's license check, and drug and alcohol testing. Be it further resolved, the expenditure will be appropriated from line items DA 5142.101, DA 5140.100, DA 5148.100, A8 164.101, A8 165.101. So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Zambito,
Yes.
Underhill,
Yes.
Michaelak,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Post.
Yes. Sharon, resolution number 73.
2021 Town Budget Transfer. Resolve the Batavia Town Board hereby authorizes the following 2021 budget transfer. As written, so moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
White,
Yes.
Underhill,
Yes.
Michaelak,
Yes.
Zambito,
Yes.
Post.
Yes. Dan, resolution number 74.
Purchase of scanner electronic records management, whereas in 2008, when the town began digitalizing records, a Canon DR6030C scanner was purchased, and whereas said scanner is no longer working, which needs to be replaced to continue with electronic records management, and whereas the town clerk has solicited quotes and received 2 quotes, the lowest quote from Amazon at a cost of $2,996. Now therefore be resolved, the Batavia Town Board here authorizes the purchase of one DR630C document scanner from Amazon at a cost of $2,996. A copy of the quote is annexed and hereto made part of the minutes, and be it further resolved, the expenditures will be from line item A 1410.200. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Underhill,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Michaelak,
Yes.
Zambito,
Yes.
Post.
Yes. Acceptance of solar energy decommissioning bonds, resolution number 75 on 2901 Pearl Street Road, Cypress Creek Renewables, Forefront Power, Pearl Solar LLC, and Pearl Solar 2 LLC. Whereas in June of 2018, the town of Batavia entered into a decommissioning agreement with Pearl Solar LLC and Pearl Solar 2 LLC for solar farm installation to be erected on a parcel located at 2901 Pearl Street Road. And whereas the agreement stipulates, prior to the issuance of a certificate of compliance, the operator shall execute and file with the town clerk a bond reasonably acceptable to the town attorney and engineer in an amount sufficient for the removal of the solar energy system and subsequent restoration of the property. And where the attorney for the town, in consultation with the town engineer, have reviewed and approved of the surety bonds, now therefore be resolved that the Batavia Town Board hereby accepts the surety bonds, which are annexed hereto and made a part of the minutes for the following: solar energy system decommissioning bond for 2901 Pearl Street Road, Batavia, by and between the town of Batavia and Pearl Street Solar LLC, dated August the 30th, 2018. Solar energy system decommissioning bond for 2901 Pearl Street Road, Batavia, by and between the town of Batavia and Pearl Street Solar 2 LLC, dated August 30th, 2018. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Post,
Yes.
Michaelak,
Yes.
Zambito,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Underhill.
Yes.
Patty, resolution number 76.
Mitel Intertel 5000 telecommunications system software assurance package. Whereas Rawlcom Incorporated installed the Mitel CS 5000 telecommunications system upgrade in the town hall and highway facility in 2009, which also included enrollment in the software assurance program. And whereas the software assurance coverage expires May 16th, 2021, and whereas the software assurance coverage is required for technical support and/or upgrades. The cost for 1 year coverage is $360. Proposal attached. Now therefore be resolved that Batavia Town Board authorizes 1 year software assurance coverage with WellCom Incorporated at a cost of $360 for the Mitel 5000 telecommunications system, and be it further resolved, the Batavia Town Board hereby authorizes the supervisor to execute the proposal. So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Michaelak,
Yes.
Zambito,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Underhill,
Yes.
Post.
Yes.
Move to table
Resolution number 77.
Move to table 77.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Zambito,
Yes.
Underhill,
Yes.
Michaelak,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Post.
Yes. I'm trying not to pick any scabs the night before the meeting ever again, I promise.
I'm not sure I buy that.
I promise.
Tom, can we talk about that?
They will owe you instant conversation.
Oh, boy.
Someone moved to pay all the bills.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Underhill,
Yes.
Zambito,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Michaelak,
Yes.
Post.
Yes. Department reports. Water sewer operations continue to expand. Scope and scale. The community right now is serving 9 different subdivisions in municipal subdivisions in Genesee County, and we'll be expanding that to potentially 12 before the end of this year. Right now, I think we have 3,300 accounts, 14 sanitary sewer lift stations to maintain, 230,000 plus or minus feet of water main, over 1,000 hydrants. Is a larger scale operation. We've been addressing some of the mitigations and construction issues, as well as doing everyday suspension and maintenance. Everybody had a chance to walk through a proposed new purchase of a sewer operations truck with a vacuum and a jetter attached, and continue to expand their service and maintenance program as weather improves. I think they put out, what was it, 250 hydrant markers, or was it 500? They put out a lot of hydrant markers in the past week, replacing 30-year-old hydrant markers with new ones, so they're all pretty well engaged in that, plus dealing with the day-to-day emergencies and service calls. Highway Department continues to assist their operations, doing road maintenance, shoulder grading, and maintenance of highways. Broken down most of the snow equipment and preparing for construction season, and receiving the new trucks and getting those ready for service. Dan, would you like to comment on?
Yes, I can give a brief report to the board. I've been working with Brandon from the firing pin at Mac Hume in regards to the outdoor recreation over on Harloff Road. We will have a meeting coming up, then we will have a public hearing. We've been dealing with solar projects as they come in. We have 3 or 4 right now that we have received since the moratorium has been issued. Working with the solar committee and discussing options of the solar moving forward. Still working with several municipalities, reached out to Elba, Albion, Leroy. We're all discussing, so we're kind of on the same wavelength throughout the county as well on the fee structure. Every other week on Friday going into June, 3 of us have been doing our New York State online continued education courses. There has been roughly 2,000 people at every course. Some of them are interesting, some of them are a little bit repetitive, but we are looking forward to getting those done. We've got, let's see, 200 and I think it was 37 when I looked today, active open permits that we are still working on right now as we speak. We've got a new building permit for a new home residential on Rose Road, another new one on Lovers Lane, and we have another one coming in this week as well. Finishing up all of the state reports for our deadline by April 1st for the fire inspections in all municipalities. And most importantly, we're waiting on the courts to open back up. We've got some ongoing continuous code violations that we need to get back into the court. We haven't been able to do anything because the courts are closed, and it's difficult letting the individuals know, the neighboring properties know that our hands are tied. But we are going through everything that we can. We're documenting everything that we get, and we're taking pictures and going out and doing all of our field inspections as we always would. Aside from the day-to-days, that's pretty much the bigger things that are going on right now. You may have heard Old Navy, Ulta Beauty, they're looking to start up in spring. So we're constantly busy and looking forward to a busy summer.
Thank you, Dan. I know that I talked with the court clerks briefly today that they continue to do all the business of the traffic court as well as they can by appointment and meeting the needs as the state office of court administration allows them to meet, but no indication of when courts will reopen in our district. So we're all consequenced by this at every layer, and again, there are a lot of people shouting to get this thing opened up to some degree, but we're not sure how and when that can happen, and it is out of our hands. Any other departments that I've missed or that you'd care to hear about? For my report this evening, I'll give you the status report on expenditures and revenues available for your review. And for your information, the state of emergency that expired on the 13th of March was renewed and extended for one more month. And the purpose of that is to maintain our options to respond to executive orders by the state of New York, which is still in a state of emergency. So we're very close to having a plan that will mitigate the reopening of the community's aspects as soon as this emergency power that the governor has is withdrawn or suspended or ended, so that we can also negate our state of emergency, go back to a more normal operations. I will comment though, that state of emergency has not displaced any of the normal functions of governance, any of the legislative components of governance. Every single action had been taken by every single board member, had been attended to as it was intended. There had been no usurpation of power by any executive component of this community. We're still working as a team, and we're protecting our constituency as well as our staff by taking the actions. And the benefits of being in a state of emergency are that we are able to react in a quicker and shorter period of time without having to call everybody into a room with 3 days notice. So other than that, the impact of the community had been minimal, if any, and I think that there has been a positive response from constituency, and we're open to any comments or questions or concerns. At this time, I'd also like to make it clear to the people that live and work in this community in the town of Batavia that if they have any opinions or thoughts or questions regarding the solar law that's being considered, to please contact the town board, the supervisor, the zoning officer, the town clerk, in any venue that you choose, by telephone or email or by any correspondence, so that you can be included in the dialogue and be heard and have your opinions and questions answered as we move through this process. This seems to be a very volatile topic in our community, and yet our plea over 5 weeks for candidates to serve on a committee from the community resulted in exactly one person It's a member of the community volunteering to be on the committee. And I don't know how difficult it must be as the committee moves forward to not have more perspective and insight from all of those constituents that live and have concerns about this. So again, I offer this to the public. It's your community, and it is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people that participate, and we ask for your participation and to please let us know if you have other questions. And lastly, there will be a GAM meeting tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. via Zoom. Teresa, do you have anything to report?
Town clerk's report for February, we collected $3,713, remitted $3,648.66 to the supervisor for the local share. Tax collection for February, we collected $318,118.76, remitted $2,911.23 to the supervisor for the penalties collected, and the remainder went to the county. Taxes are pretty much slowing down with the collections coming in.
So are we at, tax collections close to what they were a year ago?
It was, but I feel that I haven't did the comparison for
Okay.
March, and March I think maybe down some.
Okay.
So, trainings, we received notification that there is a renewable energy leasing on agricultural lands. It's held by the Broome County Municipal Training, and that's gonna be March 29th. Also, Genesee Finger Lakes, they're gonna have their spring workshop. I don't have the exact dates here, but I have all the information, and all the department heads and town officials have been notified of that. Also, there is another training on March 29th, Access Management Principles and Land Use Regulations. That they would contact the Genesee County Planning Department to register, or Leeds County. And lastly, Green Genesee and Smart Genesee, they're gonna have a series of trainings in the month of April. And all the officials have been notified of that as well.
Well, thank you for that.
That's all I have.
Are there any committee reports? Chad, would you like to comment on your committee?
Sure, we touched on the solar a little bit. We had our first meeting last Thursday, another one a week from tomorrow. Good conversation, I think a good working group. Dan's insight's been greatly appreciated. I mean, I would like to have more members from the community, but I think we have a nice cross-section with the people that we have, so I think there'll be a lot more to come on that, a lot more informational meetings, and lots of chances for input.
Well, thank you for taking that on. That's a pretty substantial responsibility, and I appreciate
I
it.
don't screw it up.
Well, I don't even know you if you do. And, I mean, that's because I'm ruthless. And speaking of ruthlessness,
Got a big pond.
Sharon, do you have any old business?
No, I do not.
Chad, any new business?
No, sir.
I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Zambito,
Yes.
Michaelak,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Underhill,
Yes.
Post.
Post.
Oh,
I guess he's.
Yes,
Christine.
I was debating whether I wanted to end it this
Oh,
soon.
yeah.
It's,
Well, we had all
Stay
our
a
votes, so
little
we're leaving without you.
Then